Hello and welcome to Participating in Vaccine Research. Research discoveries can improve people's health. Before deciding to participate in a research study, or specifically vaccine research, you should learn about what to expect and where to find more information. This webinar aims to help people like you who are thinking about participating in research learn more information about research. This presentation is based on the CITI program module, Are You Thinking About Being in a Research Study? As a quick note, this webinar is for educational purposes only. It is not designed to provide legal advice or guidance. You should consult with your organization's attorneys if you have questions or concerns about the relevant laws and regulations discussed in this webinar. The views expressed in this webinar are solely those of the presenter, me. My name is Margaret Rankovich, and I'm an Associate Director of Content and Education at the CITI program. It's my pleasure to present on this topic. By the end of the webinar, you should be able to describe what research is, identify what a vaccine is, discuss different efforts to create a COVID-19 vaccine, review the role, rights, and responsibilities of a subject in a research study, consider reasons to participate or not in research, and identify some ways to find a vaccine trial to join. I just want to note that this information is current as of September 16th, 2020. I'm going to cover these three topics: understanding research, vaccines, and COVID-19 efforts, rights and expectations for a subject, and the vaccine trials for COVID-19. First, I'll start with the key things to understand about research if you're thinking about participating in a vaccine research study. It's important to understand what research is, how a study generally works, and what's going on with the COVID-19 vaccine trials. So what is research? Research is the process of collecting and analyzing information and/or biological samples, that's fancy terms for blood, saliva, or tissue, to obtain more knowledge or to answer a specific question about a certain topic. A researcher, also called an investigator, is a person who conducts research. A researcher may get help and support to conduct research from members of their team. There can be more than one investigator for a study. Subjects, also called participants, are those that the researcher investigates, either by observing their behavior, interacting with them, providing them the study drug, or asking them questions. When research calls for obtaining personal information or biological samples from or about people, it becomes research involving human subjects. Another key term to know here is a human subject. So what is a human subject? A human subject is a living person participating in a research study or experiment. People who participate in research are called subjects, study participants, or volunteers. If you're not able to make a decision if you can participate in research on your own, you may have a legally authorized representative. A legally authorized representative is a person authorized under state or federal law, a legal body, such as a court, to consent, which means make decisions on behalf of another individual to participate in research. That probably wouldn't be the case in vaccine research, since this type of research is usually conducted with healthy individuals. So are research and treatment the same? I think this is a really common question. And no, treatment is not the same as research. A treatment involves using an approved drug, method, therapy, etc. to help a mental or physical disease, disorder, or illness. Research, on the other hand, is the process of obtaining information or answering a question and may involve a treatment, but not all research studies involve treatment. We call it therapeutic misconception in the research world when the subject thinks that the research study they are involved in is treatment. They think that the study is going to potentially help them, rather than realizing that the study is research, which is testing to see the good and bad effects of the drug or device or vaccine. With this distinction in mind, if you are thinking of participating in vaccine research, you're going to be a research subject, not someone who is receiving treatment in the sense that the vaccine is already known to be safe and effective. The point of vaccine research is to determine that, and I'll discuss more about vaccine research on later slides in this presentation. The United States has a long-standing vaccine safety system to ensure vaccines are as safe as possible. According to the CDC vaccine information page, vaccine safety research aims to ensure that the risk-benefit ratio is acceptable, define which groups should not get the certain vaccines, understand side effects from vaccination, and evaluate whether the vaccine causes any unwanted side effects. Now I'm going to discuss what you can expect as a subject. I'll overview what your rights are, who protects you, and what you can expect if you choose to participate in a vaccine study. So what are your rights as a subject? One of the most important jobs a researcher has is to protect your rights as a research subject. Before you enter a study, you have the right to be given all the information you need to make an informed decision about participating in the study. You have the right to receive this all this information in an understandable manner. You also have the right to ask questions and have a detailed conversation about the study with the person asking you to volunteer. This helps with making an informed decision about whether to be in a study or whether to continue once you have agreed to participate. You may ask as many questions as you like, as many times as you like, to make sure you understand what you're told. The person who's asking you to be in the study may also ask you questions to ensure you fully understand what you've been told. You also have the right to be given as much time as you need to make a decision about participating in research. Then, importantly, you have the right to choose to be in the research study or not. So how do you decide about being a research subject? Deciding to participate in research is up to you. You may want to ask yourself some of the following questions to help you make the choice. Do I still want to be a part of the research, even if the study will not help me personally, but may only help others? Do I understand what the research is about and what is expected of me? Am I comfortable with what is going to happen to me? Do you have the time to commit? How does my family feel about me being in this research study? Can I agree to take the chance that the negative things I was told about might actually happen to me? And do I feel confident that the people who are conducting the study respect me, treat me kindly, and will do everything possible to keep me safe during the study? If you say no after you've discussed being in a research study with a researcher, what happens? If you do not want to start, continue, or finish a research study, you don't have to. You simply tell the researcher as soon as you can. Sometimes the researcher needs to take certain steps so you can be removed safely from the study. And also, if you leave the study, sometimes your data may be kept by the research team. But nothing bad will happen to you. The researcher will not be mad. He will not have to pay any fines. There will be no penalty if you leave the study or decide not to participate. If you say yes, what's going to happen? After saying yes to being in the study, you have to follow the directions given to you by the researcher as best you can. Generally, there'll be a screening process. Screening is the process of evaluating potential subjects for a research study. This occurs before the actual study starts and may consist of a variety of tests or questions and an effort to find the exact type of people appropriate for the study. You'll be given instructions about next steps from the researcher, such as whether to come for the study visit or where to come for the study visit, and what to eat or not eat. For example, if you've agreed to come in for a study visit at a certain time, you need to show up on the day and the time you agreed to. For eligibility and screening, another option to find vaccine trials is to search on clinicaltrials.gov. You can go to www.clinicaltrials.gov and use the search function and filters for such things like now enrolling, clinical trials for COVID-19, and then you can see the basic info about a trial, including a contact name that you could reach out to. So, in summary, before agreeing to participate in research, you should be well informed and understand what may happen to you. The better you understand the research, the more informed choice you can make to participate. I really hope this presentation helped you understand what research is, what you should consider before agreeing to participate, and also how to find a vaccine trial if you are interested. You can find further information about research in general. The Office for Human Research Protections offers educational brochures about participating in research in their About Research Participation webpage. CITI program offers a module that this presentation was based on, designed for subjects and their family members about research participation in general. Thank you for today.